being able to hit export, bring the content across and drop it into WordPress was exactly what we were looking for. And even outside of that, obviously bringing over images as well, and the core content that was done in Google Docs was a really nice feature. So I do think it could easily shave about an hour per blog. On average per week, we could be pushing out anywhere between 10 and 15 different blogs. First of all, Profile Tree, who we are. So Profile Tree is a content marketing agency focusing on the content strategy and content writing. My role at the moment is technical lead. So I look after our team from internal aspects.
Yeah.
So as basic as IT support for our own staff.
Yeah.
Right through to looking at new software, looking at new advances in technology that we can incorporate with our team.
What was the challenge that you were having in terms of getting content pushed regularly onto WordPress?
So one of the issues we have as a big enough team, we have a team of around maybe 10 content writers in office. So with a big enough team writing a lot of content on a single website, so for instance our own Profile Tree website on our blog, first of all, you have that many team members, one, management, collaboration, obviously multiple posts all going into WordPress at one time. From a technical aspect, it's quite demanding on server resources on the website itself. So the first thing that we kept getting hit from by our own team was the websites went down for a second. I've lost my content. I've lost where I was. I didn't save my draft. There was a lot of issues there with content being lost.
Yeah.
And no real, I suppose, historic or archive in terms of WordPress. And there's no activity log of how far you got. Yes, there's the drafts and there's the previews, but it's not really fine-tuned. You can go into WordPress one day and have only a couple of paragraphs missing. You go in another day and you can have half of your page.
Yeah.
And so our team, really from their background and their own place where they came from, has been obviously using Google Docs as a collaborative resource, firstly, to review, audit, and draft content from there, making sure everything's in line and it's all set up correctly. But then also the historic archive of obviously Google Docs as well. Right down to the second, to the minute, Google Docs is telling you what you've done, what was the last edit, should you need to go back. If someone's collaborated on your work or if someone's changed or edited something, you can quickly see who it was, what they did.
Yeah.
And so from that aspect, it's really clean. It's the best place to be working from, and it's obviously from a technical point, it's secure and it's online.
What was the previously used solution that was happening within Profile Tree?
So we'll give a bit of context then. Our first option was always working in Google Docs.
Okay.
But as you know, when we worked in Google Docs, it was fine. But I'm sure you've been through this route before. You copy and paste into WordPress, your formatting goes everywhere, the setup isn't correct, and before you know it, you run into multiple problems.
Yeah.
So we've had multiple issues in the last couple of months of this when we've obviously brought in and hired more content writers, and we've obviously wanted to focus in on our own branding and our own brands as well. It's where we obviously were putting most of our content.
Yeah.
And so we really knew that we needed to find a solution. There was really a problem here.
Yeah.
And at this point, we started going online. We started looking at, okay, do we start creating Google Sheets? And we start having a Google Sheets record and draft of, right, what content writers assigned to this? What work are they going to do next? Where are they going to go with their content changes? So before you know it, to do a very simple process, which is literally take content from a Word doc or Google doc and put it into WordPress, we ended up having this Excel sheet of 4 steps just for someone to copy it across. And it's just so unnecessary. Yeah. So we had to have this almost mandatory process done in a Google sheet of, okay, Niall, our content writer, is going to be looking after 4 new blogs. Chloe is going to be reviewing those blogs.
Okay.
And these are the dates she's going to be reviewing those. And then Salim is going to have to copy and paste it into WordPress. So really like a monotonous project, a task that we had to set up that just wasn't necessary.
How long were you doing that for then, this 4-step process? And
possibly about a year now, it could be potentially. At one stage we were trying to use Zapier as well and try and build that integration. What we were trying to do there was there were some forums online, some resources that we found that have Zapier integrations between Google Docs and WordPress. And when we tried to set those up as well, we ran into problems there. Around probably Christmas time, so last year, we tried to get that integration working. We maybe had success with 1 or 2 blogs integrating into WordPress. and then images weren't going across correctly. Authors and any kind of metadata wasn't going across. We had no luck there. So we switched that down. We had to leave Zapier, too many problems. And again, from my side, obviously, in the technical aspect of things, I'm trying to work with obviously other client work within our websites. And I didn't have time to get pulled back into our content team. And so the kind of the tedious sheets process was going on for quite some time, arguably probably a year now, if not more. But as our teams developed and we've grown over the last couple of months, it's just got worse, and we knew we had to find a solution quickly. Okay. And then the external part of that for our clients is I am pretty much the middleman between our business development stroke sales and our development team. So I'm really just trying to fine tune what our clients are looking for, what our content team are looking for, and then passing that back to our team, whether it's the designers, the developers, or the content creators. Okay. And almost kind of the jargon barrier between both of those parties, and making sure that there's a nice flow together alongside our account management team as well.
It'd just be cool to hear about, you guys, our tool, Word Pigeon, and just hearing a little bit about kind of that experience and the decision that was made.
Yeah, so Word Pigeon actually was found. I think it was a deal online. It was one of the marketing campaigns that come up. To be completely honest, that we were looking for resources. It wasn't like we'd nailed down that this was going to be the one focus, but we'd always been looking around. And I can't remember where it was. It might have been on social media. I can't actually remember where the initial deal came up. But we seen this as an option come up. We're like, right, let's give this a whirl and try it out and see. So initial setup, getting the API integration direct from the plugin. Was straightforward. In terms of setting it up. Realistically, I know this is obviously your cliche thing to say, but it really did take seconds to do. Setting it up was no problem there. It was very straightforward. Getting it into Google Docs, again, even better, and just being able to go in to Google Docs, see that nothing had changed. There was no overall structure or anything, because normally with some plugins, you're not too sure, is it going to affect what you're familiar with and what you're used to. And again, when you're trying to deal with a content team who some are senior, and yourself, when you're used to something, you don't want to see any changes. And so it was nice to see there was no changes there. The interface didn't change at all, and it was as straightforward as just hitting export, and that took that straight over to WordPress. That really removed the step-by-step process that we were going through before, the Google Sheets, who's having to editing, because it's all inside Google Docs. You don't need someone to go in and manually copy and paste. Again, to reference back to what our issues before is, and you'll know this yourself working WordPress, when you try and select all, copy and paste into WordPress from a Google Doc or a Word doc, formatting just doesn't work. And we were going section by section, paragraph by paragraph. And it's just mundane. So being able to hit export, bring the content across and drop it into WordPress was exactly what we were looking for. And even outside of that, obviously bringing over images as well, and the core content that was done in Google Docs was a really nice feature. So in terms of what it's done for us, it's streamlined our process. It's brought over headings, formatting, tables, sections, you name it. So everything's been brought over seamlessly, and we're not having to worry about going back and really fine tuning. As much as that as well, our team now can even carry out SEO optimization inside Google Docs. So they can keep their links, internal and external links within our content, and even optimize from there. So in terms of the setup for Word Pigeon, it's what you see is what you get, but that's the best bit about it, because it's really made life so much more seamless, and the setup in general is everything's just a lot easier to work with.
Brilliant. It's really, really, really good to hear that, Stephen. I'm glad that it's got rid of the 4-step process that you guys. How much time would you say it's in, obviously, kind of no BS, if you will? How much time do you think it will end up saving your team?
Oh, still so early days, because even the team getting used to it now and building new processes around it. So honestly, I would probably say come back to me in a couple of weeks once to know more. But I do think it could easily shave about an hour per blog. On average per week, we could be pushing out anywhere between 10 and 15 different blogs. Wow!
So even if you are being generous, and let's just assume it's 30 minutes per blog, at 15 blogs, let's say 12 blogs, it's still 6 to 10 hours a week basically that it's saving. Yeah. Oh wow! Dude, that's amazing. It's really, really good to hear that. It's really, really good to hear that. And I'm really happy to hear that the process has been, as you said, what you see is what you get. I think that was the definite end game with it. So, are there any? I don't think I have any more questions, to be honest with you, Stephen. I mean, from my side, that's it. Is there anything else that you could add that you think would blow Word Pigeon's horn? I think you've covered everything, but hey, I don't know what you know.
At the moment, everything's been perfect. I've no issues to date. It's been great. Again, from a technical perspective, from where I'm looking at it down, looking at our content team, make sure people in the right directions. It is suitable for anyone of any level. No, whether you're a content writer, you're someone who's optimizing the content, if you're a review, or again, your top level looking down and seeing your process going across, it's very clean. You don't need to have extra workflows or extra processes to see. Obviously, if you're using your project management systems and CMSs, that's all cool. But from our level and where we were working with before, from a top level, I can go into a Google Doc. I can go into again, this will come down to each individual respectively and how they set up their own business. But for us, we can go into the profile tree folder in Google Drive. We can then from that folder go into content, go into blogs this week, and we can see our content labeled there. I just need to click into the Google Doc and I can see what's been done and where it's going. With the comments as well, I can see it's ready to go and it's being published into WordPress. It saves me even having to log into WordPress to see that something's been published. I can go in there, see all the blogs pipelined. I can see what's been obviously exported and what has comments pending without even having to go in. So from a top level right down to someone who's going to be optimizing the content, they know that all the content's come across. They know that's been passed over to them, and they're the final step in terms of being on WordPress at this stage and optimizing that content further, adding alt tags and all the usual benefits of SEO on WordPress itself. So for that usage, it is suitable for anyone, whether it's creation teams or right down to individuals and sole users.
Stephen, thank you so much for your time. It's really good to hear how Word Pigeon's been able to help you, and I will, I'm sure, catch you at some point in the future to talk more about how Word Pigeon hopefully can help solve more problems for you guys. Thanks.
Absolutely, appreciate it. Thanks very much.